Today, we are going to talk about the surprisingly powerful act of putting a pen to paper. We're going to explore the actual science of journaling and how this one simple practice can literally rewire your brain for better mental clarity. Let's get right into it. Does this sound familiar? Maybe you've been scrolling for an hour, or you're jumping between a bunch of different tasks, and your mind just feels like a blur of half-formed thoughts. It's that feeling of mental static, where everything is buzzing, but absolutely nothing is clear. So what's the answer to all this mental clutter? Well, it's surprisingly low-tech. It's not about finding the perfect poetic words. It's just about giving your thoughts a place to land. And that place? It's a simple notebook. And this is the core idea we're really diving into. Journaling isn't just about documenting your day. It's an active process, a form of neurological repair. The science actually shows that you are literally changing your brain's structure and function with every sentence you write down.
Okay, so what is really happening inside your head when you start journaling? Let's take a look at this sort of hidden dialogue that kicks off between two key players in your brain, the part that reasons and the part that feels. So on one side, you've got your prefrontal cortex. Think of it as your brain's CEO, the planner. And on the other side, you have the amygdala, which is more like your emotional reactor. When you're stressed out, the amygdala is just going wild. Journaling helps these two parts of your brain actually talk to each other, bringing some order to all that emotional chaos. And this whole process actually has a name. It's called affect labeling. It's super simple, really. When you put your feelings into words, you activate that logical prefrontal cortex, which in turn helps to calm down the reactive amygdala. It basically lets you feel your emotions without getting completely overwhelmed by them. And this isn't just a cool theory, it's backed by some serious research. A 2021 study from Stanford confirmed that this kind of expressive writing literally helps the brain recover from stress. Brain scans even showed that the areas that usually light up under emotional pressure became calmer and more coordinated after writing. But it turns out how you write really matters. A 2023 study found that handwriting lights up way more areas of the brain than typing does. The physical act of writing by hand actually forces your mind to slow down just enough, creating this powerful mind-body connection that you just don't get from tapping on a keyboard. Okay, so let's get practical. How do you actually do this? Our very first technique is called expressive writing, and it's the perfect tool for those moments when your emotions feel really heavy or just plain overwhelming. And the best part? It doesn't require some huge time commitment. All you need is 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. It's an incredibly easy way to start making a real difference in how you feel. This technique, developed by psychologist James Pennebaker, is super simple. Just pick something that's been weighing on you and write. Don't stop, don't edit yourself, and please don't worry about grammar. This is for your eyes only. You just keep writing until you feel like you've said everything you need to say. So why does this work so well? Well, because your brain sees suppressed emotions as unfinished business. It's like having a tab open in the back of your mind that's constantly draining your energy. Expressive writing helps you finally close that tab. It completes the loop, which allows your brain's emotional centers to quiet down and gives you back some of that cognitive control. All right, let's move on to our second technique, which builds a totally different mental muscle. This one is called gratitude journaling, and it's especially useful for those times when you don't necessarily feel overwhelmed, but maybe more numb or disconnected or just distant. And this gets at a really common misunderstanding. Gratitude journaling isn't about forcing yourself to be happy or ignoring all the bad stuff. No, the real goal is to retrain your brain's attention. You're basically teaching it to focus on what's stable and good instead of constantly scanning for threats. So here's how you do it. Just write down 2 or 3 things you're grateful for. But, and this is the key, you have to be specific. So don't just write, I'm grateful for my friend. Instead, write something like, I'm grateful for the way my friend really listened to me today when I was feeling down. That specific detail anchors the memory, firing up the mood and motivation centers in your brain and building new positive emotional pathways. Our third and final technique is called reflective reframing. This is your go-to tool for when you feel confused or stuck, or you just keep running into the same problems over and over again. It is all about building resilience. And it's a simple 3-step process. First, just write down the facts of a situation as plainly as you can with no judgment. Second, reflect on the meaning. What did this event teach you? What did it reveal about yourself? And third, identify one small, concrete action you can take the next time you find yourself in a similar spot. Over time, this practice physically reshapes your brain's capacity for resilience. It actually strengthens the parts of your brain that regulate your emotional reactions. You start to see difficulties not as personal failures, but as valuable data points for your own growth. And that subtle shift, it changes everything. So now we've got these 3 really powerful techniques. The question is, how do we put them all together? Look, it's not about trying to do all 3 every single day. It's about having a toolkit with different tools for different jobs, ready for whatever you might need. And this is the absolute perfect way to think about it. Journaling isn't just one single exercise. It's mental cross-training. Just like at the gym, use different exercises to strengthen different muscle groups. Well, here, you're using different writing techniques to strengthen different mental and emotional circuits in your brain. And this right here is your clear, actionable guide. When you're feeling emotionally heavy, you pull out expressive writing to strengthen your emotional processing. Feeling kind of numb or distant, turn to gratitude journaling to build up your positive focus. And when you feel confused or stuck, you use reflective reframing to strengthen your resilience. It's a simple roadmap for your mind. So as we started to wrap this up, I really want to leave you with this powerful idea. We often think of journaling as just simple self-expression, like writing in a diary. But the science shows us it's so much more than that. It is an active process of self-construction. You are building a stronger, healthier, more resilient mind. Just remember, your brain isn't fixed. It is constantly changing in response to your experiences. And every single word you write down on that page is a tiny, quiet act of neuroplasticity, a deliberate step you're taking to reshape your own mind. So the next time you sit down with a blank page, I want you to try a new approach. Don't get stuck asking yourself, what should I write? Instead, ask a different question. What is my brain trying to tell me? And then, just listen.